We were down at this one spot, I think you were in the bathroom or whatever, and there were these chicks and they were totally naked and they were all screaming my name. They were all like really big fans of me and they wanted me so bad. They were screaming, "Daddy, you're so sexy!" And I was like, "Yeah, I know it."
Girls that were all naked and they were looking at me, and I guess it's because of all the Woodstock thing, you know, they were just kind of like, you know, maybe he's Hispanic, the Ricky Martin going on thing, you know, I don't even know all that, but then Danny?
Core Donkey Punch Bunch. That's Ashton Kutcher and Wilmer Valderrama, I think is how you say his name.
Hashtag Donkey Punch Bunch. I had to Google search Donkey Punch. I did. All right. I wasn't aware that that was a thing. But apparently, donkey punch, it is a sexual practice of inflicting blunt force trauma to the back of the head or lower back of the receiving partner during as an attempt by the perpetrating partners to induce involuntary tightening of the internal or external anal muscles or vaginal passage of receiving. That was a definition from Wikipedia. The donkey punch bunch. We've talked about them here. Let's talk about it now. Yesterday we did a video on the hypocrisy of Wilmer Valderrama, where allegedly it was said by the blogger Without a Crystal Ball that Wilmer's production company had something to do with this Netflix documentary, Dancing for the Devil, the 7M TikTok cult.
They would not have been able to do this project without Wilmer Valderrama's production company and his executive producer, Jessica, who was so dedicated and completely compassionate and empathetic and worked diligently to make this happen.
Now, I asked the question yesterday is how do you expose one cult when Wilmer Valderrama had a lot of dealings with the cult of Scientology? He went to the event. Allegedly, I'm hearing that he might have hooked up with somebody in the Sea Org while he was attending one of these events. So there's a lot to pull from this. What is so interesting to me is that Wilmer Valderrama has yet to put an announcement about his involvement with this docuseries. We're only going by what this one source blogger has said, which I don't know. Like, if you are really proud of this project, like he's proud of all these other projects that he's put out on his website, why hasn't he made a formal announcement about this Netflix documentary? Landing on Netflix is a huge deal, in my opinion. I mean, I didn't even know Wilmer had a production entertainment company until Without a Crystal Ball posted that on her IG and also made a video about it. There's just so many dealings with Wilmer, Ashton, and Danny Masterson and the things that they would do, the hookups, the hangouts. I pulled this picture here from Tony Ortega. You guys can see how close these guys were. Anyways, in the early 2000s, both of these men had a restaurant that they had invested into. It was an Italian restaurant called Dolce Inoteca e Ristorante, Italian restaurant located in West Hollywood, and it was early 2003, and this was like a group business venture that they had. Back then, it seemed like a lot of celebrities owned a lot of restaurants. Like you had Britney Spears who owned Nyla, then you had J. Lulu who owned Madre. I mean, a lot of celebrities did the little restaurant thing, right? And these three men were in this business venture doing this together. So yes, they dealt with each other on a daily. What is so interesting is the different things that people have said on Twitter. Like somebody said, there's a reason why Wilmer Valderrama didn't submit a letter of support, and it's 100% because Danny Masterson's attorney knew it would be bad optics because of Wilmer's known past as a creep. We've talked a little bit about that. There's so many great content creators like Sloan and others that have exposed Wilmer's kind of creepy, dating life and whatnot with the underage women. Somebody else on Twitter said, and they showed this picture, P. Diddy, Ashton Kutcher, and Wilmer Valderrama and Danny Masterson during the endeavors of MTV Movie Award Party featuring Ciroc vodka and the LG mobile phones at Dolce in West Hollywood. So this was the restaurant, that Dulce Italian restaurant. There's Wilmer. You see the back of Danny Masterson's head, and Ashton Kutcher and Diddy. And we've already done a video about the parties, about that MTV show, that music award show. There was a Redditor who pointed this out that I thought was very interesting. They said it was the same with Dulce, the restaurant he owned with Ashton Kutcher and Wilmer Valderrama. There were lots of stories of what went on there back in the day, which will probably resurface now. I'm actually surprised Wilmer's name hasn't been mentioned more in the last week or so, considering his liking for younger women. Demi Lovato, Mandy Moore, Lindsay Lohan, all of these women were all underage or had just turned 18 when they started dating him. Then, while he was in his mid-20s at the time. Listen, I want to know what you guys think about this. Some people in my comments have said, this is just one source without a crystal ball announcing this documentary. Is it possible that it's not true? I don't know. Like, why would Without a Crystal Ball put herself out there to say that she's part of something if it's not really true and he's also part of it? If it's not really true, I mean, I don't know, y'all. You let me know in the comments about what you think about that. But people have in my comments said there's some credibility issues there. Listen, I just want to know your thoughts. Also, the fact that he hasn't given a public statement, I think, is very telling as well about how he feels about this whole thing. Maybe he doesn't want to come public, or maybe he feels like if it's put out public, that people on the side of the exposing Scientology side are really going to catch up and say, you're a hypocrite, Wilmer. You're a hypocrite because you went to the events. There was a lady that you slept with, allegedly, that she was in the Sea Org, and they found out that you had allegedly slept with her, and they had to send her somewhere else. You know how the Scientology stuff, how they do that shit where they move people around. They body route people. There are children in there. They cannot consent auditing older adults. It's just scary to me. However, you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? Yeah, I think he's a hypocrite. And I think he needs to be called out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Rabbits out. Bye, guys.